Big Smoke, forget the Greg Games. I would not take his advice, y'all. We're just going to start it by saying that. Boom! I would not take his advice. Aside from the behalf, there is an assumption. He has a video or two where he'll talk to you about the edges and corners and how to reveal sealed games. He'll get a pass for that one. He has a whole dedicated episode to why not collecting modern day games. I would not take his advice, y'all. So that's my Big Smoke for him. That's my singular. I'm just gonna narrow it down to one specific thing. One specific. He did one episode. If he was to ever see, he'll understand what episode I'm talking about. Where he talks about modern day games, and then right now, a lot of his modern episodes is talking about modern day games. Like, let's say 6 months ago, oh, nah, don't buy that stuff. Oh, stay away. Ooh, cheesy wizards. Ooh. If you understand the last ooh I just said, 6 months later, now you're going to be struggling to look for that. Ooh. That's why you should follow my page. Because I'm telling you from gate. I'm not, oh, nah, stay away. Stay away from that. Ooh, do you have that? Yo, I laughed at Get the Game when I finally heard you talking in different light a couple months later, and I never would have listened to. I never did actually. A lot of the games I know over time you're gonna be talking about, I'm gonna be laughing at you like, yo, you basically, if people engage with you at any form of an influence, you're definitely averting their vision from the right things to be looking at. Get the games, but you can sure point out people's misspellings. That, if there's any reference I can tell you, Get the Game know how to do, he'll point out when you misspelled in like a question or a comment on his. He'll definitely do that for you, and lie basically at the same time. He's going to be talking about modern day. He already did. Unless he deletes those videos over this past month or two. Unless he delete. You're already published. So that means you admit yourself. So, no, I would not listen. The only thing I do watch his video for, I would say, when he do the live stream, so you can see how like these apps go down for with like heritage and whatnot. I would say to an extent there's some things you could pick up from watching his channel, but I would not advise anybody not to buy the games that's coming out right now. To be waiting 5 years, 6 years from now, because you're not getting it from me for $20 or $40. No. Sorry, Get the Game, Greg, get the games of games. I would not listen to what he was saying in that video about I'm not collecting modern day games. Okay. I guarantee you while he was saying that, at the same time he said that, he had first printings of Mario Odyssey and all them games on the DL. More than one, most likely. Yup. Right while he was telling y'all that. Let's say, like, you see how you see this camera, all you see is right here in the view, is right here. And I'm telling you, yeah, I'm definitely not buying no modern day games, Nintendo Switch, PS4. No, I'm done. I don't collect after that stuff. Right to the left, if you move the camera over, you're going to see like a whole wall of it. Yo. Okay. So then you're telling me he's going to pay $500 or $1,000 for those first prints to invest into it later? Where is out of nowhere he's going to get it for the $60, the first print? Mario Odyssey first print is over $100. Where is he going to get it for $60 or $40? Where is he getting it? Because it's the third print right now. At this moment. And your average store across the country and in Canada, it's the third print right now. So while this first Mario print for the Nintendo Switch is going up in value, where is Greg gonna get the first print from out of nowhere, and he only paid $60 for? That means you had to buy it when it was out and about in the wild. That means you had to buy it then. Or you're telling me he's gonna be paying $100 or $200 or $500 later down the line? I highly doubt that. So that's why I was this is a clap at get the Greg of the games. I said that right. That's cap. And like a lot of these YouTubers definitely be capping to y'all. Definitely. Right now you're in the 30-year anniversary of games you should be collecting right now. It's like they for like the not even say 30 years, let's say 25, 30 years, they're printing games right now that didn't come out for the past 25 or 30 years. Very expensive games. And none of these people are talking about it. They just dweedly. Oh, these games right here all of a sudden are expensive. They're expensive. Yeah, alright. So he definitely practices that. That's definitely one person I would tell you who practices those falsehoods of information. If you're looking at his video for a source of information, I would not, aside from like while he's showing you on the live stream screen how the heritage be going on for sales and stuff, yeah, that maybe could be factual because that's showing you what's going on at moment. But when it comes to like what games to be going after and whatnot, I wouldn't suggest that. From what I know for myself, I wouldn't suggest that because I know either he's gonna have some of the stuff I already have in his pile, already does. I don't even care about that because that's not a source of where I look for actual information. The only source I would tell you I truly looked for when it came to get the Greg games, when I look upon his page, is a video or two that shows you how to review the ceiling of a video game for you to determine like the best of the quality if you ever want to get graded and whatnot. That's maybe that and watching a couple episodes of the heritage sales. But aside from that, I would say nah. Nope. No Baruni! Buy these games right now that's coming out in modern day, and don't listen to people like him who's telling you, oh, nah, that's not going to have no value. Okay, there's already games for the PS4 and the Switch that's over $100 mark. The Castlevania collection that came out from Limited Run that was like $36 in Japan is like $120 and better in USD. So, and I like right when it already came out. So, modern day games don't have value. Yes, they do. I'm telling you, games that come out right now could turn around, and once they go OPP out of print, whatever the heck it is, yes, they can have value. Yes, they can have value, y'all. So, that's my one thing I would say I would get at with the Get the Greg games. That you kind of went against your own word, basically. You dedicated a video chatting about something that could avert people's path of collecting like good objects within the Switch and PS4 era, and then come to turn around, oh, maybe now it is time to start buying this stuff. Yo, when it comes to collecting, especially modern day era games, they're not hanging around like they used to. Especially like if you want Mario Party, any of the new Switch titles, first prints. I mean, like you need to get the first prints. Right now, you're dealing with the second to third prints guaranteed. So you're gonna, and anything else otherwise, like if you're going after the first print right now for the Mario Odyssey, you're paying $100 and up. Look what happened with the whatchamacallit, the Super Mario 3D All Stars. Ain't you? If you find it for $60 and down, you're lucky. But they're, I think, like $100 and up right now. So the last Zelda that came out, if you don't get the first print, the rest of those is gonna be the cheaper value ones. So that's to me, when people like him tell y'all the viewers that this is what y'all should be trying to collect for. I mean, like y'all shouldn't even be wasting time. You're missing out on what to collect then right there. Because once those is out of print, the one that you're gonna get is gonna have a 00001 or 2 or whatever number on it, and that's not the one that's gonna be the 500 to 1,000 that Get the Greg got. So I tricked you. I tricked y'all not to go get it, and I got a bunch of copies right now, and whatever. I don't know. Because there's a lot of games aside from buying Mario and Mario Party or Smash Bros. That is actually going to cost just as much in value as well. Like, it's a ton of games for the Switch that's going to have good value to it. Like, to be honest with you, I try to stay away from the high graphic 3D games on the Switch wise. I don't really collect as much PS4 at the moment. Maybe I will still get a couple PS4 games. I'm collecting more Switch games, and more when it comes to the Switch is more in the 2D realm. I feel like the Switch shouldn't have a problem with proper frame rate and graphics running when it comes to 2D games. But I don't really try to collect as much 3D games on the Switch because it has a lower frame rate, basically, to say that it just doesn't look good, to my opinion. And that's the one thing why Switch actually at this moment is coming out with the new Switch. Because I would say that a lot of people, I would say even for myself, but I don't play Switch. I don't really play video games right now or whatever. Um, but when I looked at reviews of what copy I should maybe go after buying, a couple times I saw it, like, definitely for the PS4, and Switch was like horrendous. I wanted to get the Parodius game for the Switch, and it looks bad compared to the actual version. PS4 and PS5 version looks fantastic. It looks fantastic, and the Switch version, they need, what I'm gonna say for a fact. That's what will get me to maybe even think about buying the next Switch that's coming out, the next Nintendo that's coming out. They need to have backwards compatibility that runs better graphics of those games. There's a lot of games for the Switch right now that the graphics, frame rate, and whatnot is horrendous, and they need to make a backwards compatible to the new system that shows better graphics of those games. Or it's like a ripoff to have bought those, to be honest, of objects. Like, you was better off obtaining the PS4 ones. So, like, that goes back to what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to what games I'm collecting for, like, the Switch wise, 2D games, Metroidvania games, shmups. Try to stay looking at reviews talking about the frame rate of certain games before you buy them, so then you can determine if you should get the PS4 or the Nintendo Switch version. But I would definitely advise that anybody who views my videos, do not wait a year to 2 years later to get these games. The most I would say is like a couple months into something within that year to obtain that game. But like, the modern era games is not going to be around for long periods of time. They're not. And once we go full digital, only people who got that kind of actual money to spend is going to be able to afford a physical cartridge. The same way like a pair of Jordans was like 130 or whatever. Now it's like 200 and some odd dollars. It's like different demographics of people are going to only be able to afford this kind of category of objects when it comes to the later futures. So, for me, the only reason I would see myself using the digital market of video games is to play a couple games here or there with people online. But I rather collect physical on the behalf of, I'm not a AAA title kind of video game kind of person. And it could be a high possibility in the coming future that less of these kind of great titles will be able to come out, with the fact that you might need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars just to put out a game. Like, right now at the moment, I have an assumption that when it comes to independent developers, that it might not cost them no money to put the game out. They just need to have all the right document all put together and down, and then it gets permitted, and then through that, let's say Nintendo, if we put it out for Nintendo or put out for PlayStation and Xbox, they make a percentage, and you blessedly get a percentage, and you got to still pay your taxes, obviously, but you could make hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe your first foundation towards doing other kind of projects by making that one object. But I'm just talking about the future right here with that behalf, basically, to say. But yeah, how I began it with the get the Greg of games and stuff. I'm just using him as well as an example to say that there's certain YouTubes that I wouldn't really predominantly take their information to mind or heart. But I just feel just to speak about some of these kind of things, if you could grow into an influence, it's not positive. It's not good information. It could avert and sidetrack people from opportunities for themselves, to maybe say. If if I'm a major influence of millions of people or even into the thousands, even if it's 100 freaking people, and I'm telling them all not to buy not to buy these modern day games, these certain modern day games, or to be collecting modern day games, and they wind up actually believing that and turn around, it's like 100 games. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's at least 20 to 40 games for the Switch and PS4 that's gonna cost some bread. It's gonna cost some bread. I'm not talking about $50. It's gonna cost some bread once they're out of print. Madness. And right now, because certain people know what it is, you could buy multiple copies, or you could be left in the dark. Like how people say, "Oh, don't buy it." Buy Pocky Rocky Reshrine right now. It's a $500 video game. Pocky Rocky Reshrine, $500 video game. Wild Guns Reloaded, $500 video game. Ninja Saviors, $500 video game. The lowest price of these games I'm talking about is $300. I'm turning your $30 or $20 bill, depending on how much you pay for the game. I'm turning your $30 bill into a $300 bill. You do the math. Let me say it one more time. Through buying video games, you could turn $30, $35 bills into $300 per game. It's just about buying the right ones. The remothered series might turn out to be the very best horror game put out in years right now. It's like a $17 game on GameStop eventually will be $10 when you buy the 4 for $40. Haunting Ground and all them games is in the hundreds. But at a time, Haunting Ground and the other game for the PS2 that's wild expensive, Rule of Rose, those were $10 games. Those were $10 games. I don't know how. That's the part you see. That's why you should subscribe to me, because I'm telling you that predominantly a lot of these games were at a time $10, and it's up to you at that time to buy it for that $10, or you rightfully all these high values of video games in modern day. You can't blame the people who are reselling. You got to blame yourself for not buying it when it was at its low. That's like buying stocks. That's like buying a home, buying your sneakers, buying food, whatever object you want to buy through your life. It's up to you to figure out how to get it for the low. It's not up to other people that got it for the low and then years later it's expensive. Oh, they should keep it at the $10 for you. You stupid. It costs you time to walk to that place or take a train or drive to that place, eat food in that day. And then to be holding it all that time for you to want it for $10 more. Nah, the game don't work like that, y'all. The game don't work like that. When it comes to collecting retro games and these games that could become expensive games in the future, you want to get it at the time when it's at its low, like the 15, the 20, the 15, the $10. You want to take advantage of that. Otherwise, you're gonna pay the $300 or $1,000 or whatever to obtain. It's very simple, very simple. Very simple. So, Nintendo Switch era, PS4 era, I consider the best era of all video games to collect for. I consider it the very best. I wouldn't say buy every single game. No. I do not collect every game for all the game systems I have games for from PS1 up to whatever. I do not have a complete of anything at all. I am just appreciative of the objects I was able to obtain throughout those eras, let's say. But I've only did this in 3 years. So I'm gonna jump back out of this and dip off. I said what I needed to say about what the get the games of Greg of basically bare bullshit that he be kicking. As well as other people on the point of why I use get the Greg of games and bullshit. Check it out again. I'm gonna say this one more time. There's a ton of YouTubers here who talk a lot of bullshit, y'all. There's a ton of YouTubers who talk a lot of bullshit, y'all. And basically, each system has 1,000 games, let's say, and they're trying to separate each week to talking about one game to y'all. And by that time, if you watch a lot of other YouTubers, by the time you even really learn about how to know about games, how to know about how to collect, it's gonna be years from now. It's going to be years from now. I'm going to end it with this one more thing. Capcom Classic Mini Mix Game Boy Advance. Mighty Final Fight is on that game. It's like a $20, $40 game. The actual cartridge is like $300, $400. Let me say that again. Mighty Final Fight is on the GBA Capcom Classic Mini Collection. It's a cheap cartridge. The original print is like a $300, $400 cartridge. Buy it now. I'm out of here.